Hello, my name is Carlos. I'm an ATPI major at the University of North Texas, and thank you for coming to the Dealing with Difficult People presentation. Um, I've been working at the parking and transportation offices, and as you could already imagine, I deal with quite a bit of difficult people. Um, I've been attending this University of North Texas for about 3 years, working on my major. Actually, I'm double majoring, so I'm still here for quite a bit. Little things about myself: I'm 24, and I enjoy reading, doing homework, I guess, and I really like accounting. So you know what? Enough about me. Let's just jump right ahead. Well, what do you expect? First things first, I'm gonna have my audience spell out a quick what do you expect to get out of this presentation. It's really important just to fill it out to the best of your ability. It's not terribly long, it just answers a few questions. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance to fill this out. So while you guys are filling that out, a few more things is that you know um, this presentation was actually created because of all the difficult people I've dealt with. The very first time I dealt with a difficult person was actually at my job at Chick-fil-A. People were really, I didn't get them as often as I do now. People would be really angry for no apparent reason, just for asking them the simplest of questions. Or if you get their order wrong, some people actually take it a little more personal. They really don't like it. Obviously, it's so much simpler fixing a situation at Chick-fil-A. Just you get their order wrong, just fix it just by giving them whatever they ordered. So yeah, it was way more simple at Chick-fil-A than it is at parking. And parking is much more difficult because it's not as simple as just giving them something for free in order to calm them down. You know, so while you guys are filling that out, I could tell you this few like what a difficult person means to me because I see on the paper that's one of the questions. What is a difficult person? Basically, to me, just someone who blocks day-to-day activities who at work, someone who gives you a hard time, doesn't really want to talk to you. Basically in short burst of what we're gonna go over, that's what a difficult person is to me. Also, it's gonna ask you, if you've dealt with a difficult person before, where at, and about how many times you deal with a difficult person. On average, just for reference, me on average about 12 times a week is how many times I deal with a difficult person at work. Again, I work for the parking transportation office. Many students already know about us. I've been told, that we're the most hated department on campus. We're trash. We're devils, Nazis. I've heard the whole thing. It's different. So we'll just move on in case you guys are not finished or anything. But we'll just I'll ask this question. Personally, to you, what is a difficult person, Miss Desra?
Yes.
What is for you? What is a difficult person to you?
Well, someone who is angry at a certain situation and they just want it dealt with right then and there so they won't be angry.
Okay, so basically, your definition of a difficult person is someone who's angry over a certain situation or angry over a certain event that's transpiring within either work or school or whatever,
Yes.
right? And for you, Juan, what's the difficult person to you?
Hmm. Someone who doesn't want to understand reason.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who doesn't want to understand the logic of why something happened, and they're basically throwing a tantrum.
Of course, as you could plainly see through the picture, yes. I guess, in short, a quick way to say it is a difficult person, someone who's throwing a tantrum over something that's not going their way. That really good answers from both of you. So let's get right down to it. Difficult people. Basically, like I said, and like you guys have said, it's a person that disrupts the normal day-to-day flow. You know, basically a simple way to see it is you're driving, you're on a road. You know, that's how work or school, whatever it is. You're at work. What you want to do? Go to work, do your duties, get out, go home. School, go to class, take notes, go home. You just wanted a straight shot through. That way you can just go back to what you want to do, which is whatever, you know, play video games, go to the movies, go to the bars, whatever. A difficult person would be a bump in the road, a detour, anything that makes it going from A to B, turn to A to B to C, A to B to C to D, E, something like that. Another definition of a difficult person could be someone who harasses either an employee, supervisor, co-worker, anyone, either verbally or physically. You know, if it gets to that point where they're, you know, verbally or physically assaulting you, or, you know, like if someone grabs you, one thing you want to do is call the cops, call your immediate supervisor. Don't let them just grab onto you and just, you know, you don't have to take that. Or if they're like cussing you out, you don't want to just say like, oh yeah, you know, whatever. You want to get someone if it gets to that point. You know, you don't need to take that. And also, like Juan said, is when they stop listening to reason. You try to tell them something or you try to fix the situation, and they just don't listen. Like one story I had is when I was working at Chick-fil-A back in high school. You know, if you've been to Chick-fil-A, although I'm pretty sure everyone has. If you say, you know, I want some nuggets, some 8-piece nuggets, you know, obviously they're gonna tell you, sir, would you like to make it a meal, a combo? Would you like a drink and fries with that? Well, that's exactly what I did, because they train you pretty hard there. So I had this customer, you know, I give him a smile. I'm like, hello, sir, welcome to Chick-fil-A. How can I serve you today? And he says, give me 3 chicken strips. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. Would you like to make it a combo? You know, at that time I didn't know it. Biggest mistake. He looked at me and started yelling at me like I had cussed him out or stole his money, or I don't know. He's saying, what do you mean, do I want a meal? I said I want chicken strips. Don't you dare tell me that. What do you think I am, stupid? I just said I want chicken strips. If I wanted a meal, I would have said so. You know, my coworker who was also training me at that time, he was saying like, hold on, you know, like before I even got a chance to respond, because I was kind of in shock when literally I asked him like, do you want a meal? And he just went off on me. You know, luckily my coworker quickly came up to me and helped me, because obviously he saw me getting verbally abused. He said, hey, you know, you don't have to speak to him like that. He just asked you what we're training him to tell you. Obviously, if you want strips, he's gonna ask you if you want that. And if you just said no, you would have been okay and you would have been out of here by now. You know, and that's the thing, you know, that's where he stopped listening to reason, you know. I would have said, hey, it's okay. Because even though my coworker told him that, he still said, well, you guys are training him stupid. He's stupid for asking me that. Even though we already remedied the situation, he still went off and didn't want to let it go. That's where, you know, my other managers got involved, and, you know, that's where, you know, that's what a difficult person is. You know, it could have been done really simple, just by, do you want this? No, cool, and he's out of his way. So difficult people, how do they look? Desiree, to you, how does a difficult person look? Like, how would you describe it?
They look really intimidating. I guess just their face is kind of contorted.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of look you straight in the eye. They're really firm with broad shoulders, and it's just intimidating.
So, you could say it looks something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you know, although we don't have the ability to be able to 100% tell whether they're happy, sad, or nervous. You just, some people, I mean, obviously, you see someone charging at the door, flinging the door open, walking straight to you, slamming their hands on the desk. That's when you're probably safe to assume they're angry, you know? Although, still, even though that happens, they might not might not be angry, might just be excited, or who knows? But obviously, you have to look at the looks, the gestures, and the voice tone. If someone comes up to you, Desra, and says, "Hey, can you help me out with this?" You'd be like, "Sure." Versus, "Hey, help me out with this now." Exactly. You'd be like, "Whoa." Like, you notice the difference, right? Once asking you more like sincerely, as in, "Hey, could you help me out with this?" Versus, "Help me out with this now." Like, he's not asking you, he's telling you, "Help me out now." So that's some things you want to look for. Basically, the tone of their voice and how they're looking at you. If they're looking at you dead in the eye and with an angry face, 9 times out of 10 they might be angry, or angry at the situation particularly. From a distance, it can be a little difficult to tell if they're angry or sad. If someone's rushing towards the door or to your establishment or whatever, running, they could be late for class, in a rush, not necessarily angry. Sure, they can be angry, but there's not really a finite way to tell. Like I said, since none of us have really the power to do that. Many people, like I've actually experienced, can look like they've done like they're just normal. Like people can come up to you and just be like, "Hey, I want to talk to someone about this ticket." For example, because I work at parking, I get that a lot. I want to talk to someone about this ticket, and they look normal. Or some actually are even smiling, like, "Yeah, can I speak to someone about this ticket, please?" And I'm like, "Of course, man." I get their information, I see what's going on, and I tell them, the situation. "Well, this is what you did wrong. This is what happened, and unfortunately, per our rules and regulations, this is what you have to do." Most of the times in my course of work, they don't like that answer. They won't accept that answer. So they go from, "Can you help me with this ticket?" to, "What do you mean you can't help me with this ticket? This is bull, crap. This is stupid. You guys are devils. You guys are jerks. You guys won't help me." From that point on, yeah, it went from having a very pleasant customer to having someone who's just like yelling in your face, like, "No." Again, like I said, looks can be deceiving. You never want to assume that they're angry or if they're happy. If you see someone like rushing towards your door, don't run to your manager and say, "Hey, boss, can you come up here because I'm gonna get yelled at?" Then your boss goes up there worried for you, and then you just find out like it's just a student running late for class needing to deal with something. So never safe to assume. So let's say you get to that position where you're doing your business or wherever you work, and all of a sudden a difficult client comes up to you, and he at that point you already know because he's yelling at you and he's angry. So what do? First off, you cannot stress this out enough. Keep your cool and do not freak out. Basically means the same things, but I'm saying it twice because I cannot literally stress this enough. Do not freak out. They will look for any sign of weakness or confusion or anything to break you down. If someone comes angry at you and starts saying, "Yeah, I got a ticket and I don't know why. This is dumb. This is stupid." And then you start looking at it and you take it too long, or you're trying to buy time or bide your time thinking like, "Oh, crud, I'm trying to look up for a reason." He's going to say, "You don't even know why, right? You don't even know why I got the ticket. This is stupid. This is so ridiculous that even someone who works at this department doesn't know why." Or anywhere, if they ask you a question or anything, you'll be like, "Oh, snap. Oh, what do I do?" They're going to tear into you. So one thing you want to do is not keep quiet and just let them go off on you. You want to keep it cool and make sure you have an answer for stuff they're saying. And you want to speak to them clearly. Speaking to them in a lower register or a higher register or one at the same as them, they're going to take it as a challenge. Trust me. It's happened to me on numerous occasions in school, in public. You don't want to yell at them if they're yelling at you. If they get too hostile with you and you're trying to explain something and they say no, like they speak over you, best thing to do is just stand back and listen to them. And make sure you look them in the eye. That's another thing. If you're talking with someone straight face to face, no matter where you are, look them in the eye. That way they feel you're listening to them. Don't get lost in their eyes. Don't just play a stare contest with them, because then they're just gonna look at you weird and think you're playing with them. And that's, again, something you don't want to do. You don't want to make them feel like you're taking it as a joke or playing with them. You know? Now, as I said before, make sure you make them feel like that they're being listened to, because if not, then they're gonna just go off on you for being unprofessional and not taking anything serious. And don't distract yourself with anything. Don't be shuffling papers. Don't be doing something on the computer while they're talking to you, because they're gonna think that they're not worth your time, you know. And that's one thing you want to do, is make sure that they're being listened to. Otherwise, they're just gonna be like, well, this is stupid, I don't want to talk to you, you're not worth my time, get somebody else. And at which point, it might be wise if they're getting out of hand. As it says right here, you know, they get out of control, get a supervisor. If they're getting too hostile, banging on the desks or banging on whatever, just getting angry and using foul language, best to just get a supervisor. It's, you know, you don't want to say like, hey, you know, don't cuss at me, then start cussing at them back, because it's just gonna turn ugly, and you just want to avoid that, because again, you want to get from point A to point B. You don't want to just complicate things by doing all this. Now, to the meat, how to calm down a difficult client. One thing you don't ever want to do when confronting someone that's hostile or difficult is telling them to calm down. I've seen people do it. I've seen people, you need to calm down. And unless you're a police officer, because I've seen police officers do it, but obviously they can get away with it. But, you know, if I told someone, calm down, you need to calm down, man, oh man, it gets really out of hand. So when trying to calm someone down, ironically, the best thing to do is not to tell them to calm down. One thing you want to do is speak to them normally, see what you can do for them, and just talk in a normal voice. Don't use sarcasm. You don't want someone coming up to you and saying like, I got this ticket, I don't know why. You don't want to pick it up and read it says for parking at an expired meter. You don't want to say, oh, obviously because you parked at an expired meter. You're gonna make them feel dumb, and you're gonna just make more trouble for yourself, because they're gonna feel dumb and say like, well, no, duh, that's why, I know why I just don't know why I have to blah, blah, blah. You know, and it can happen anywhere, you know, someone giving you, you know, like a situation, you don't want to come off sarcastic, because it's just going to create more problems than it solves. So sarcasm, keep it away. And this goes without saying, but I'm still going to say it anyways. Don't make jokes in order to lighten the mood or anything. I mean, even if you might think it's funny or you think that get a kick out of it, it's better to just keep it to yourself. Making jokes out of anything, of a person's situation, it's just not good, you know. If you crash into someone else, you both get out, you know, don't make a wisecrack like, hey man, at least we both got insurance or something. You know, no one's in the mood to play games whenever you're dealing with some hostile situation or a hostile person. Because then again, they're gonna think you're not being professional and that you're not taking them serious. And again, you want to make sure you're being serious with them. And also, don't give any half answers. Don't give them stuff like, I think, or maybe, or probably. You're leaving them open-ended and basically leaving them on a cliffhanger. And we all know how much we hate cliffhangers. You want to know for sure. You don't want to go home thinking, oh, well, maybe this will get fixed, or maybe it'll work out. You always want, when dealing with a difficult person, you want to give them a straightforward answer. That way they go home or leave the premises with a solid answer in their head. So of course, don't use any I thinks or maybes. If you're not so sure about the answer to the question they're asking you or anything, you want to get someone or go get some information. It's better to tell them, all right, sir, I understand, but I don't know exactly the answer, so let me go find out for you and I'll be right back. 9 times out of 10, they'll probably be fine, or okay, or that's better, you know? So, after all this talk, it's time to actually get into it. Let's do a brief little role play over dealing with a difficult person. I'm gonna play the role of the difficult person, and I'm gonna get Desra to come up here and see how she can deal with this. And I understand you used to work for parking,
Yes.
right? Okay, so what did you do then?
We used to ticket the vehicles.
Take the vehicles, okay.
Yes.
And I'm guessing you got a lot of angry people.
Yeah.
All right, so let me come up with a good scenario. All right, so let's say you're writing a meter ticket.
Okay.
Since those are probably the most easiest. You're writing a meter ticket, and you just finished printing it out, and you're ready to slap it on the car.
Okay.
And here I come. Hey! Don't take my vehicle. I'm here. Can you remove it?
I'm sorry, I cannot. I just finished the ticket. Like, this meter, it has run out of time. and
Okay, I understand, but I'm here now.
I understand that, but it's still like I can't. I don't have the power to remove this ticket.
Well, why not? You just wrote it. Can't you just throw it away?
No.
Can't you just say it was a mistake?
I understand. I wish it was that easy, and I do understand your frustration, but I cannot remove this
Well,
ticket.
this is bullcrap. Why can't you remove the ticket?
Because
I'm
I don't
here.
have-
Literally, I literally saw you print it out.
yes, and it's too late now that
Just
it's
say that I got here. Literally, I just got
I,
here.
I wish I could do that, but it's
Why
not?
not?
Because I cannot do that.
This is bullcrap. Can't you just? What if I just throw it away?
Well, then I'm sorry. Like if you throw it away, then it's just gonna be a bigger problem.
Well, this is stupid.
But it can be.
This is stupid.
It can still be resolved.
I don't care.
It can
This
be-
is this. I don't care. This is stupid. Can't you just remove the ticket? Because
No,
I'm not gonna
I
pay for
cannot.
this.
I'm not.
This is-
I cannot remove the ticket. If you want to get this resolved, I suggest that you go to the parking offices.
No.
Try
Why
to
can't I
appeal
resolve it now?
Because I don't have.
I
the
don't
power
care.
to do
I
that.
want to resolve it now.
No.
Just take it away.
I cannot.
Take it away. I'm not gonna pay for it.
I cannot. I'm sorry. I cannot. If you want this resolved, go to the parking offices during their hours of
So you're
operation.
saying if I go to the parking office, they're gonna remove it for me?
I-
100% sure.
I cannot guarantee that.
Why
but
would
you-
I go there
You
then?
can appeal
Why
it.
would I go there
You
then?
can appeal it.
Is appealing gonna get it removed?
It might. Like I said, I don't have the power to do that.
It
But
might.
then, but
Yes or no will it get removed?
I cannot guarantee that. But I
This-
cannot. But that's the thing. I cannot remove it right now.
I was
Like, I
literally in
cannot-
there for a couple of minutes.
I
You
don't.
come at
I
me and
have.
give me a
I don't
ticket.
know. I don't
This
know
is so
what you.
stupid.
I don't know what you were doing. But if you want this resolved, go talk to them. I'm sorry, the ticket is done. It's already on your car. It's
I don't-
already in the system. Talk to them over
This
this.
is so dumb.
I'm
Just
sorry.
take off the ticket.
No, I cannot. I don't have the power to do that. So talk to the parking offices. They will probably. Hopefully, they'll be able to take care of that for you.
All right. So, couple of things. I like how you kept to your answer.
Mhm.
You told them. You told me, go to the parking office. Don't remove your ticket. Don't move it.
Mhm.
Basically, you were standing your ground.
Yeah.
Even though I got close to you to basically your personal space, you stood your ground. Also, you could have stepped back because no one has to be standing in your personal space like that.
Mhm.
But kudos to you standing up to yourself. It's totally it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed is that he was trying to talk over you, and you were also trying to talk over him.
Yeah.
And one thing you have to remember is let them finish.
Yeah.
If they're talking over you, it's better let them finish. And if you try to talk and they keep talking over you, just let them finish. And if they keep repeatedly doing it, you just stay quiet. And when they're done talking, and then they're just looking at you like, "Are you gonna say anything?" You can say, "May I speak now? I listened to you. Now you gotta listen to me."
Mhm.
That's the best way. So if you were angry at me, and you were talking over me, and I'd just be like, okay. In my mind, obviously, I wouldn't be saying it. And once you were done, I'd be like, all right, well, I've listened to you. Now let me talk. And I'd basically say the same thing you would. Like, I can't do anything about it here outside. So if you would just take your ticket and go over there, they will be glad to help you.
Mhm.
I'm not guaranteeing. Great job on not guaranteeing it, because if you told him yes, he's gonna go with the mindset that yes, this ticket's gonna get removed,
Mhm.
point blank, no questions asked, and that's something you don't want to do,
Mhm.
because then they're gonna come looking for you saying she said it would be removed.
Yeah.
So of course, pretty good that even though it's like a bit open ended, it's not really, because they know that either the outcome could be yes or no.
Mhm.
So that's very good. Thank you very, very much for your participation.
You're welcome.
Now that we got that, one thing we can go over now is the forbidden language, which is some stuff that you can't tell, difficult people. I know it might sound a bit silly, But saying no problem, I've looked up, it actually causes problems with among difficult people. No matter what you're doing, if you tell them no problem, some part of them will think that at the beginning it was a problem. That's why you're saying no problem. Saying no problem is again, although it sounds like juvenile and you're just like I'm saying no problem, so it's the opposite of what they're thinking. They're still gonna be insinuating that the whole thing itself is a problem, and that's something you don't want to give in their mindset. You don't want to make them feel like they are a problem. You want to make them feel like you're trying your best to help them to the best of your abilities, of course. And also using things like I think or maybe or I'm not sure also gives off the impression that you don't know what you're doing. To anyone, giving them that impression doesn't really work. If you're sitting in a classroom and you ask your professor, who you're paying thousands of dollars to attend, hey, what's the dividend or what's the multiplication, whatever you're asking them, and the professor looks at you and says, well, I think it's this. Chances are you're not going to feel so sure. You're going to be like, wait, what do you mean you think? How am I going to be paying you for all this and just give me a I think? No, you pay good money and you want to find out this is how you do it. You don't want no half answers. So never give off the impression that you don't know what you're doing. You always want to look like you know what you're doing, and always speak clearly and professional to whoever you're speaking to. Simple as that. Any way to remedy this? Any way to remedy the stress of going through difficult people and anything? Yes. Some people enjoy running. Some people enjoy swimming. Some people enjoy reading books. Some people enjoy drinking after dealing with difficult people or just having a hard day at work. Even though you might not see it yourself, or you'll tell yourself, whatever, that person didn't faze me, didn't affect me, it was whatever. Chances are you're still feeling it. Even a tiny little knot in your stomach saying like, ah, man, that guy was a jerk, I can't believe it. And it's not good to keep it bottled up because, years of that could actually do your health, bad. And there are ways with dealing with the stress levels that dealing with difficult people cause. And one of those ways is yoga. Well, not just yoga, that's stretching. Doing any kind of stretches or anything like that really helps with the stress levels. Bless you. Any of the stress levels, that includes poses. Bless you. That includes any of the poses. Even deep breathing or meditation. Even after dealing with a difficult person, you can tell your coworker, hey, I just need a couple of minutes, and they'll understand. You can go off to the break room, the restroom, anything, wherever you feel comfortable, and just sit down, just meditate, just mellow out. Or even standing outside, getting a bit of fresh air, just to get all of that removed. What I personally like to do at work when dealing with different people, after we cleared out everyone or anything, I like to stretch a bit, because for some reason it really helps me, and actually it's been proven to help reduce stress. So quickly now, let's see how it's done. So I wear a uniform to work, so I'm not dressed in like business casual attire at work. So I'm just gonna switch into some sweats real quick, and I will show you a couple of poses. So just give me a few minutes. Alright, so I put on some sweats, not really traditional sweats, but anything loose will pretty much do the job. So some of the standard stretches I do myself are, first off and foremost, just, simple touch your toes, really, really simple. Just, you will hold it for a few. I have to get a few deep breaths between every stretch. Another one I like to do is I'll hold my hand behind my back and just reaching out to the top. Just kind of hold you every position for 3 to 5 seconds. Nothing really crazy long. Nothing, spread legs open and just reach out for one leg. Reach out for the other one. Nothing, just arching out your back. Give a good twist right there. Stretching out your arms. Your other arms. Kind of do some yoga poses. Actually, my back popped. Just basically getting nice and limber. It really, really helps, especially when all that stress. And also, these are stretches you could actually do at work that don't require yoga mat, because I don't take my yoga mat to work. Other things you can do is reach up for your back, and then do it in reverse. Turn around, so basically make your hands link. And of course, plenty of deep breathing. Just keep your eyes closed and just feeling the air of outside or anything. And just your basic stretches, and it really helps with calming down. Of course, there's other ways like running, jogging, swimming, whatever really helps you reduce stress. And yoga stretching, I find it easiest to do with me, especially at work. You really don't need to run around, get all sweaty in your work uniform. Stretching just relieves you, lets your body be more limber, and it's a great way to reduce stress. And now we're coming close to the end of our presentation. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have one.
Sure.
Does dealing with difficult people get better with experience?
I believe it does, because when I first started working for parking, I had my very first difficult person, and in the beginning, when they yelled at me, I literally froze and was like, I have no idea what to do, because it was my first week there and I was already getting yelled at. I believe during my first 2 weeks there, I've gotten yelled by like 4 different people, and it got to the point where some of my supervisors felt really bad for me. They're like, Carlos, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that your first 4 weeks in, you're already getting chewed out. And now when people yell at me, I actually take it more calmly, I feel more confident when dealing with them. Before, I'd be like, oh, let me go get my manager at every chance I could. I could not deal with them. I was too scared. But now I'm like, well, I can help you out. I'll help you out to the best of my abilities. And I talk to them normally. They could be screaming my ears out, cussing at me. And yeah, I believe it does get easier with experience. Although it's a tough road to get there. But it really does.
Good.
Any other questions?
Yes, I had another.
Sure.
What's an appropriate saying to respond to those who are using foul language?
All right. Well, foul language that, if it gets too out of hand where they're just using foul language over and over, it's easier to just get your manager. But you could also, to be courteous to them, even though they are using foul language, one thing you can do is tell them, excuse me, sir, well, I don't want to conduct business this way. If I'd be happy to speak with you more if you spoke to me in a more respectful tone. Otherwise, I'll be forced to end this conversation, or I'll have to get my manager, or anything like that. Speaking on the phone, same way, you give them, I guess, if you want to call it anything, a warning. Basically saying, if you continue to speak to me in this tone, I will be forced to hang up. I'm giving you a courtesy warning. I'm happy to conduct business with you, but we have to exchange in a professional manner. But that's pretty much what I would say. I'd basically, again, give them the courtesy warning, and if they don't, then I'd either get a manager or say I can't speak to you any longer since you don't want to speak in a professional manner. Any from you, sir?
Yeah. Where I work, we have the right to refuse our business to our customer when they become rude.
Of course.
And we've tried telling. I mean, I've tried personally telling them, look, sir, I just don't want to deal with you, and they don't accept it. Do you have any suggestions how I can deal with these customers? Refuse my business to them, you know.
Well, yeah. A couple of times at my job, we've have refused customers simply because of the fact that they got too hostile. But the reason we refuse them service is because it's sometimes gotten to the fact where we had to get police officers to escort them out. Basically, if you're dealing with someone that you have to deny business, you could tell them, you know, that you'd be happy to help them out to the best of your abilities, but you know that you'll have to conduct business in a more respectful tone, because if you're just yelling across each other, then you're just gonna have to tell them to respectfully leave if they cannot control themselves in a more respectful manner. But obviously the last thing you want to do is kick someone out, even though they're being disrespectful. And if they're getting too loud, chances are someone else will hear them, and they would probably go get a manager, and that way you'll remedy the situation. And if anything, your manager will probably be the one to make that call. But yes. So any other questions? No? Alright, so last things last, I'm gonna pass out an evaluation form. It's pretty short, straightforward. If I can have you guys fill this in, it's obviously anonymous. You guys don't have to tell me who fills in what. If I can just get you guys for a couple of more minutes to just fill this out, it would greatly help me. And now for you, and for you, and I just want to also thank you guys so much for attending this presentation, and I hope you guys learned a lot and that you guys are way better equipped to dealing with difficult people. Again, my name is Carlos Valdez, and I am happy to give this presentation. And also, don't leave right quick, because also you guys get a certificate of training for actually completing the presentation. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.